Hello and welcome back to Hydroponics Daily, your go-to podcast for everything soilless cultivation. I'm your host, Dr. Russell Sharp, the founder of Utrema Limited. We are a British company that manufactures novel biostimulants, interesting fertilizers and organic biopesticides, and we sell them all around the world under different names and things like that. So we're based in the British Isles, into the United Kingdom, England, and today's topic is unfortunately not related to the UK because today we're talking about botanical gardens where you can go and visit a hydroponic display and have a look at how it's done and learn more about hydroponics. Now, you would think a lot of botanical gardens have these displays because they look flipping brilliant and so they would attract visitors. But no. Not many botanical gardens have got them. Cambridge University Botanical Gardens used to have one, but it was only on display for a year. It was part of their Plant to Power solar hub, an architectural installation, but they don't have it anymore. The nearest you can get to that is you can see their bioreactors for microalgae if you peer through the fence at the Sainsbury's Laboratory for Plant Science. And Peyton Zoo used to have a really interesting verticrop system that the plants used to whiz around the greenhouse very slowly and move to where the irrigation was rather than the irrigation moved to them. But that is no longer in place. I think it's been dismantled. So we don't have any on display in the UK as far as I am aware. Now, you may be able to see a vertical wall somewhere that's hydroponic, but not in a botanical gardens as such. So if you know different, let me know. So where else can you see hydroponic displays? Well, the Phipps Conservatory and Botanical Gardens in Pittsburgh in the USA, they've got an organic rooftop edible garden, which sounds good. I always think edible garden sounds like something Willy Wonka would make, but no, it just means edible plants. So you can go and visit there, and the food production, I think, is used in the visitor centre as well. So the Phipps Conservatory. I've never heard of that one, but Pittsburgh. If you're going to Pittsburgh, then that's the one to go and visit. Further down in the south, Dallas Arboretum and Botanical Gardens. In the Children's Adventure Garden, they have an incredible edible gallery. It includes hydroponic towers for hands-on STEM learning, so the kids can actually go and touch it and play with it, and under supervision, I would assume. So they've got one down there. Now, outside of the US, in Palestine, in Bethlehem, they have a dedicated aquaponic and hydroponic system in their botanical gardens. So that sounds good. So now that the fighting has died down in Palestine, perhaps we could all go over and visit their hydroponic system in Bethlehem. I know a few people who've been to Bethlehem for a visit. My American customer, that's the only time he's ever been on a bus in his entire lifetime was when he went to Bethlehem, which I think is bold from a British perspective. European perspective is absolutely crazy that you would never go on a bus, but there you go. If you are in Malaysia, then the Botanical Gardens at the University of Kebangsaan, they've got a hydroponic system described as a learning hub that features gardening spaces, hydroponic systems, composting and rainwater harvesting. So if you're in Malaysia, get over to that. If you're in Dresden, in Germany, the beautiful city of Dresden, then shout out to my friend Silke Lesemann, and she is a strawberry breeder in Dresden, and they've got a hydroponic system at the Dresden Botanical Gardens. So if you're visiting that beautiful city, go over to the Botanical Gardens. They've got a vertical farming tower, and it's part of a pilot project, probably EU funded, I would imagine. So yeah, check out that one in Dresden. If you're back to the US quickly, North Carolina, Wilson Botanical Gardens as part of their STEM garden. So very much the theme here is very much they're integrated into learning areas for children or even undergraduates, I would imagine. That's an aquaponic system, I think. So that's a really good one. So the Wilson Botanical Garden in North Carolina. Again, that'd be interesting. I don't know where that one is in North Carolina, but there you go. My friend Emma Tregida, she's a New Zealander. She lives in North Carolina. Perhaps she's been there. Maybe I'll ask her. She is a plant scientist. Now, back to the Middle East, the University of Baghdad, at the Botanical Gardens at the College for Education for Pure Science, has got a greenhouse at the front of the Botanical Garden that contains a hydroponic farm used by graduate students, described as a living environmental museum. So check that one out if you ever go to Baghdad. And finally, if you are in Russia and you're struggling to get anywhere else around the world, then you could always go to the ISU Botanical Gardens in Irkutsk State University in Irkutsk. I have no idea where that is. Let me Google that and see where in Russia is Irkutsk. I'm probably pronouncing it terribly. I really do apologize. I don't mean to. But it's not the worst thing someone's done with Russia, is it? So here we go. Blimey. It is just north of Mongolia. It's in Siberia. Basically, it's in the middle of nowhere. Flipping heck. Yeah, I bet it's cold there in the winter. I bet the hydroponic systems. Oh, it's right next to Lake Baikal, which is... Lake Baikal, that is famous, isn't it? Well, what's that famous for? I'm literally just Googling this. It's a rift lake, the deepest lake in the world. There you go, Lake Baikal. Doesn't it hold more fresh water than all the other lakes in the world or something like that? Some sort of bizarre... It takes 90% of the unfrozen fresh water on the planet. There you go. So hydroponics saves water, and that's one of the biggest environmental factors for promotion of hydroponics. It's really good at saving water. But in Irkutsk, they've probably got loads of fresh water. They have an ebb and flood system that grows medicinal and aromatic plants, things like lemon balm, and they do theme tours and workshops for the hydroponic system. So there you go. Interesting. I reread a lot of notes from a recent hydroponics conference, and the ability of hydroponics to save water is the big thing that they really like to promote. Because it's not energy efficient compared to field grown, they have to take the wins where they can, and the lack of pesticides and the saving of water is the key areas where they focus on. So yeah, there's 8 botanical gardens you can go and visit. But if you know of botanical gardens that does have a hydroponic display that I've not featured, then let me know and I will feature it on a upcoming episode, and I would like to go and visit pretty much all of those, really. As long as I am allowed in, and it's safe. So I'd love to go to Russia. I'd love to go to Palestine and Malaysia and places like that. So yeah, hit me up with an invite if you weren't there. Okay, that's been Hydroponics Daily for today. If you found this interesting, if you'd like to go to one of those hydroponics setups and see them in action, perhaps you haven't got one of your own, then make sure you like this podcast, give us a 5-star written review. Make sure you follow this podcast so you get more hydroponics information and more education. And if you'd like to check out utrema.co.uk, then we have fantastic hydroponic products to help your plants grow amazingly well. If you can't spell Utrema, it's Latin for wasabi. So just Google wasabi and you'll find Utrema as the genus name. That's been Hydroponics Daily for today. Thank you very much for listening. And until next time, goodbye.